Having walked to my porch here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm out here on my porch smoking my little cigar, having my coffee, preparing to go in to begin the active parts of my caregiving, of the caregiving day. Um, or as I like to say, I'm fixing to get ready to do some caregiving. That's the active parts where you're physically doing the caregiving, not the other stuff that you have to do. That's not direct to them, but it's part of the whole process, as well as your own life. Because you got to remember, you're the caregiver, they're the caree, and a lot of what you do relates to both of you at the same time, just like in a family or anything else. You grew up and your mom or your dad or your aunt or whoever ran the household. Things like that you gotta do, and we do it. The thing I want to mention, it's very important, I think, is to, when you're a family caregiver or caregiver, or you have a loved one who has a condition, a disease, a malady, dementia, Alzheimer's, brain damage, whatever. You have to not make the mistake of assuming that everything they say or do or think or react to is related to the disease or the condition. They're your loved one or the person you're caring for. They're a person. They're not Alzheimer's. They're not dementia. Like a trap a lot of people fall into, and I think it helps the progression along of that, is that we begin to treat them like objects, not people. People have good days and bad days and off days and middle days. The gray area days. I do. So do you. They have their left days and their right days. We must remember or try to learn that the person we're caring for is indeed a person, not an object. And you think you're being extra sensitive to everything they're going through, and you understand that they said this because of Alzheimer's or dementia. Might not have been, might just be having a bad day, or an off day, or a sick day, or I'm just not in the mood day, a low blood sugar day, a low endorphins day. Just like I do, just like you do. Not everything they do and say and think is the Alzheimer's or the dementia or the brain damage. They're still there. They're still there. They're still a person. You don't have to keep them engaged all day long in full of activity. You do not have to do that. It's one of the mistakes I think people make, is they overdo it. And they begin to either infantilize their loved one or try to do too much, put too much on them to try to forestall the progression make them more active and make them do this and that and the other. Yeah, to some degree you do that. You keep them active. You keep them doing routine things. But you got to remember, they're people too. They have their on and off days. Don't objectify your loved one. Treat them like a human being. Understand that some of the things they say or do relate to the brain damage or whatever, but some things they do relate to them being just human beings. Might not be the same human being they used to be, appear 100% all the time, but they're still there. They're still their individual people. And you can't baby them, and you can't keep them on a world tour, an active world tour where every moment is scheduled to do something, to be active. It's like they go to bed at night. They may lay there in bed and you think they're asleep, but they're really not. They're just half there, half not. And so if you go into their bedroom and you check on them, their reaction, you could tell if they've been really a deep sleep or they aren't a deep sleep or they're just a surface kind of thing. That's going to relate to how they are the entire rest of the day the next day. They didn't sleep at night. They dozed or whatever. So they may fall asleep in their chair for a lot of the day. So you think they're sleeping all the time. No. They're not sleeping all the time. Some people make the mistake, well, they keep falling asleep in the chair, I'm going to put them back to bed. Don't do that. Keep them up. Up. Even in a chair watching TV, as much as possible. Don't revert to the nap, the bed nap, might as well leave them in bed. The later you get them up in the day, for some of them, the harder it is to keep them up. And sometimes you get them up early in the morning, and they're going all night. They may have a nap or two, but in the chair, but they might keep going the whole day. They may come back to themselves and eat and drink and whatever during that period, or get interested in a TV show or something. But you don't have to keep them active all day long. You don't have to be their cruise director, an entertainment person. You don't have to do that. There are days when you don't want to be around people, and you certainly don't want to do things with other people. Remember that your loved one is still a human being, still a person. And sometimes, when you treat them like an object, a very breakable object, or a very needful, activity-wise person, you need to get them to do things all the time, you're actually not helping them out at all. You're making the day harder, because they are people. Things you have to learn as a family caregiver are the ins and outs and the quiet little signs. And that's why I've been successful in keeping my father going all these years. I've never infantilized him, and I don't treat him like an object. I treat him like a person. If he cusses at me, I cuss right back at him. Smile the whole time. I treat him like a person, not a condition. I don't blame everything on the brain damage. I don't blame everything on the dementia. Because when you fall into that trap of thinking that, then you're down that path, expected path of dementia. A lot of experts say, well, these direct paths that happen, and this is the decline. Well, I've rebounded my father from more of those declines than anybody I've met. I'm not a miracle worker. It's just I didn't follow their path. I kept them going other ways. I learned. And it's an exhausting thing, but my dad's still here. And he's going to be here as long as he wants to be here, and as long as his brain can handle the load. And his brain is not going to be able to handle the same load all the time. I have my good days, my bad days, my sleepy days, my off days. But I'm not a machine, and neither are they, and they're not an object. They're not the disease. They're a person. And you need to remember that. You need to remember that. Anyway, take care of yourself today and tomorrow and the next day. I'll talk to you again at another time.